Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is CJ and welcome back to Exotic Nootropics. Today we've got a slightly different one. We have a dragon fruit tree. I don't know the scientific name, it's actually written on the pot. Now, we're going to be repotting this, and the reason for that is you can see that the pot here is actually tiny. Sorry, one sec, I've got to put on a glove because these things are spiky. So this pot is tiny compared to the size of the damn plant. So I don't know who put it in this pot and thought it was a great idea, but I think they were horribly mistaken. So my idea is to repot this sucker and hopefully give it a bit of a better life, because it is a big cutting of dragon fruit. I'm pretty sure it is already rooted, because it doesn't pull out of the soil. Now, dragon fruits are a very strange plant in that they are a cacti, or a cactus, but they're a tropical cactus. So the humidity levels are really strange. I was trying to research them online. Some people are like, oh, you need like 40% humidity. Others are like, oh, you need 80% humidity. So this room fluctuates between like 50 and 60% humidity. So I'm going to keep it at that. You can see this, all of these markings, oh God, it's stuck. All of these markings that are on the cactus, I'm going to say cacti by default, but cactus. These are all cactus rot. I think that's what it's called. It's basically rust. So it's cactus rust is the name for it. And this happens when there's too much humidity in the air, but all of these markings happened before it got to me. And I think it's partly to do with this pot, for one, but because it's been planted in this pot, I'm seriously questioning whether the people who actually created this know what they're doing. Now, it is a place that specializes in dragon fruit plants, but from all the research that I've done, they seem to be doing the opposite of what you're meant to do, which doesn't make any sense. But anyway, we're gonna get into this and we're gonna repot this sucker. The first thing that we need to do, grab our scissors. These are scissors that I use for opening boxes and just cutting everything. And there's God damn it, this is gonna be hard because it's long. Hopefully you can see that the camera is not focusing correctly. It's got plastic things all the way up it, so I'm just going to cut those off. Okay, camera, if you're not going to focus correctly, you're going to really annoy me. I will do it myself if I have to. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to cut all of these plastic things holding it on off. I'm assuming these were mostly done just for the shipping, but they're very flimsy plants because they're very long, and the fact that they put it in this tiny pathetic pot doesn't help the fact that it's all flimsy. So let's just take all of this plastic off. You will also notice that it has air roots coming off it. I'm not really bothered about it being in the pot right now, but up here you see this is an air root. Up here at the very top, this is another air root. There's quite a few of them. So it's doing okay. I'm not 100% sure why people think that air roots are a problem. Air roots, if they're a natural thing that the plant does, I don't see why they're a problem. I don't understand why people prune things and all of that when it's not needed as well. But that's a whole other story. Now, the next step is we're just going to get this sucker out of the pot. And while we do that, I can tell you exactly what it is. It's Hyloceras costaricensis? What the flip? That is incredibly hard to say. It's a red dragon fruit, basically. Okay, so I just got to be careful while doing this actually, because this could be make or break for the plant, which we don't want to do. Now, dragon fruit, they need a 50% cactus mix and a 50% compost mix. Now you can see here, these people had no idea what they were doing, because look, the roots are at the bottom, which is never good at all. That's actually really annoying, the fact. So this is really well rooted, which is a plus, but I don't know why these people, they specialize in this as well. They're literally serious questions. Okay, there we go. Boom, got it out. Nice. That is a bunch of broken roots because it was completely root bound coming out the bottom of the damn pot. Stupid. Really stupid. Right. The next step is I'm going to take this outside and swill off all of this soil. I'm not going to be able to take you with me. It is the winter. So I will come back when it's all done and we'll see a completely clean plant. And this is interesting for me because I've never done this before. So it will be interesting to see what the roots are actually like. You can see they are nicely healthy in there. But definitely needed a repot. Thank God I kind of know what I'm doing. Right, all of that soil's now been swilled off the roots. We're going to remove this pole because it's not of any use to me. And this pathetic little pot, we're not going to be using that. We'll also remove all the plastic stuff because we're not going to be using that either. And these dead roots. Obviously, they're of no use to us anymore. So, here we've got quite a healthy root system. It's actually not that bad. Very matted and tangled and honestly a stupid sized pot to do it in. Like, I've seen from the research that I've done, the way that people propagate these, and they put them in much larger pots than that tiny piece of rubbish. So that is exactly what we will be doing. Hopefully you guys all know our default for when we pot up around here. We have, honestly, probably a pot that's too big. But you know what? I'll be kind to the plant. I will give it a nice big pot for it to grow out in. Obviously, our first step, which everyone should know by now, if you don't know, now you know, is we're going to put our orchid bark in the bottom to stop the soil from draining out. I've actually been through and I've tidied up a load of stuff, so we've cut this back and it's now easy for me to show you. This is the bark that we use. It is just rainforest bark, and we just take a handful and shove it in the pot is the plan. It will come out the bottom. And you can see all that dust. It's not great. It's not great. In fact, I should probably try to minimize the dust by doing that. God. Oh, you can see the dust properly on the camera. I can't even see it properly in real life. So I'm breathing in that dust, nice and healthy. If you are doing this, please use a place that's more ventilated than this, because or use a mask. I mean, I've actually got a mask that stops, that stops all the dust. Instead, I'm just going to get everything dirty and have to clean it all. Brilliant. It's fine. In our pot, we've got our layer of orchid bark, which is now falling out the bottom. We all know why that happens, right? There's no pressure condensing it down, which means you end up with this right here. I'm actually just going to pop that straight back in because I want as much of it as possible in there, because drainage and aeration and all of that. Right, as I said, the mix is quite simple for this one. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to throw on some gloves, just because I don't know what the hell is in this cacti and succulent mix, but it says on it, use gloves, recommended to use gloves. It's just a Westland mix again. So Westland, cacti and succulent. I was expecting a huge bag. Instead they sent many little 4-litre bags, which was surprising to me, but each to their own. And then down here, which you cannot see, is a huge bag of Westland multi-purpose compost. It is John Innes 2, I think. It just says John Innes on it. This says, do not breathe it in. Use in, it's, God knows what the hell is in this, but clearly it's not great. So this is the soil. This is our cacti and succulent mix. We're gonna just zoom in on that so that you get a nice shot of it. Go down, camera. Wow, that was too aggressive, but it did the job. And that's all that matters. We're gonna need a lot, but we're going 50-50. That's actually really, oh wow. There's some sort of, okay, I'm feeling it through a glove, but there is some sort of silica in this. It does say it absorbs water and slowly lets it out. So I 100% expect some sort of weird silica type stuff that is inside this. I did look to see if there's ingredients of what's actually in it, because I don't want to accidentally put extra compost, but it just doesn't say anything. It's like granules absorb water and nutrients. Like, okay, that sounds like silicon or something along those lines. Doesn't sound like it's going to be completely 100% natural. But there you go. That is so odd feeling through the glove. I'm going to feel it with my hand, but that is so strange feeling. All right, let's look at that size of pot. It's a big pot. All right, I think that's enough of the cacti soil for now. Just going to put this down. This is damp anyway, so I don't see why they're worried about. Yeah, strange feeling soil. It's like normal soil, and then you feel a bit that's just, oh sorry, you can only see my hand there. Then you feel a bit that's just kind of like silicone-y, really strange. Strange soil. I'm assuming any cactus soil can be used for this. It literally just says cactus soil when you do the research. So if you do want to read about it with the soil pH and all of that, there is, oh my god, sorry, this bag's really annoying. I'm trying to get the soil down to the bottom of it so I can cut the top. There's a bunch of info on the soil pH needed for dragon fruit plants written on our website, so go and have a look at the care guides on there. There's actually a few care guides now. It's basically, I think almost every video that we're focusing on, we do a care guide for. So the next video that we focus on already has a care guide up. So if you want a sneak peek / spoiler, then please go and have a look at that. Oh, this, okay, I would say maybe that does have some compost in it, but you can see the difference here. Look at the difference in the color. Compost with fertilizer and all of natural, what's the word I'm looking for? Nutrients? It's not the word I'm looking for, but it'll do. With all the nutrients and everything in it, it looks completely different to soil with nothing in it. It's very, very big difference. So we're just doing 50-50 right now. We may have to move the plant further away. You can't actually see the plant in frame, but we're encroaching on it, so let's, without stabbing ourselves. Please be careful when you're doing this, because there is a cactus, so it is going to stab you, which is not recommended. So we're just going to mix it up as we do. It's not 50-50 yet, but it will be in a minute. I almost want to be careful and just not do 50-50, but I think we're about there on the 50-50 mix. If something goes wrong, luckily we've got the top chunk of this plant that I can just chop off and I can just plant it again. A lot of this is trial and error. It's the best way to do it. It's more interesting for me if it's trial and error. This is such a weird soil to feel. Right, we're just going to pop. Hopefully you can see this. You can't really. Yes, you kind of can. I'm just grabbing a ball and I'm just putting it in to put some pressure on the bark in the bottom. Right, nice. So here we are. we've got some soil in there. We've now got compacted bottom, so nothing's falling out, which is great. And we have our dragon fruit plant, of which I'm going to change back to the other gloves so I don't get stabbed by it, because we're now going to start placing it in. One thing that's important to note is that the plant needs to be a decent way down the pot. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to put it about halfway down the pot, just because it's quite a stumpy pot. I think you can probably do it a little bit higher than that, but I want to be careful, and I want to make sure that it's as sturdy as it can be. So we're just, you can't see this. How do I make you see this? How do I make it so you can see this? Let's move that way, move it that way. See if you can see in here. Oh, you can, look at that. Right. Apart from now, I've got arms crossing arms. The things I do for you, Right, now I'm just going to drop it in here. I'm literally throwing it everywhere. Oh, this is so awkward. I might have to complete this off camera, but for now you can see. God damn. Much awkward. Let's just move it over again. This is tricky. It's actually less soil than I thought, so we actually need more soil. So even better. But one thing that we can do is we can grab that spike that was in before and just shove it down the back. Just going to grab a bit more soil. All right, let's see if we can move the camera up a little bit. Come on, there we go. Oh, look at that angle, beautiful. Right, so we're just going to pack this in now. Make this nice and easy for myself. Just put it one side and then trail it around the sides. Just while I've got this camera in the way and everything else is climbing up the back there. Right. Okay. I think we're basically there. I'm just gonna try and get the last bits in. The cacti is actually way more stable on its own now, which is even better. Hopefully you can see that. So we grab that, put it in there, press down. Perfectly fine. Let's go. Last bits of soil. Don't like wasting soil around here. All of it costs money. Nice. Boom. There we go. Right, now all we're going to do is we can now move this to a better angle. That is a much more stable cacti, and yes, the majority of it is now, well, not majority of it, but a lot more of it is under the soil. But I'm going to flip it around to here. You can see how much more stable it is. It's not even really on the rest that we've given it. Right, I'm going to grab a cane real quick and then we're going to start basically tying it up. Here we have our bamboo cane. You can see it's much bigger than the cane that's already in there. So again, much better quality. I really recommend repotting plants when you get them, because most people just don't seem to care, which is annoying. But around here we do care, which is why we make all of these videos. We use these canes pretty much for every single Nepenthes. Obviously when they're small they don't need one, but that's why we've got all of these. It's much taller than the one that's in the pot currently as well. I don't think this is a better angle at all, but it shows you a bit more of the plant, I think. All we're going to do is we're going to pull out this crappy blue cane. There's quite a few people who use these. I'm assuming they buy them on Amazon as like the cheapest cane that you can get. And we're going to replace it with our big ass cane, and we're just going to put it much further along. Okay, so you see that like that. Then we've got these plastic ties here, which everyone seems to use these for dragon fruit. So I had them and I don't know why, but we'll use them. Why not? Where's an angle that you can see on this fat bit here? I'm tying it round, then I'm doing it up like that, and then I'm actually going to knot it because I'm a fool. So ta-da, done, knot. And then I'm going to chop off the ends because these can be used again. That's actually holding the entire plant, just this one. That's how stable it is right now. But I'm going to add one to the top as well. There we go. That is now a completely stable dragon fruit. I will place it somewhere and then I will show you it in all of its glory. It may be going under a table right now because that's the only place I've got space. This is the only place that it would fit, and even then the cane is too long. So it goes up past the table. There are lights being added under here. You can't actually see my hand. So there's plants under here, and there are lights getting added tomorrow. So this is all the change that's happening behind the scenes. So this is what our dragon fruit plant now looks like. It is much deeper in the soil, so it's much more stable, and it's got a much fatter cane going up it. Even the ties are fatter and more sturdy. So this really should thrive now once it gets light. These need a lot of light, so once the light's in, it'll be great. The only thing I need to do is water it, which I will do off camera. It's just going to be rainwater. And that is how to repot your dragon fruit plant. Again, we will check in on these plants in our monthly updates and give you updates on what's going on with them. Thank you very much for watching. This has been another new experience for me, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. Please drop a like and a subscribe. It's very much appreciated. Keep up to date with us. We've got lots and lots of plants, lots and lots of updates coming, lots and lots of videos on how to do things coming. Just constant content basically. So thank you very much for watching. My name has been CJ, and I will see you guys in the next video.